If Russia did this to America, to an American vessel, we would be at war with Russia. If China did this to an American vessel, we would be at war with China. If anybody did this to an American vessel, we would be at war with them.
I find it disturbing that Hasan thinks that a slowdown of imports is going to cause Jews to flee Israel. 80% of Israelis were born there and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hasan? Back to Poland or back to the Arab countries they were
Pretty sure he wants them to return to their natural state. You know, as they say, ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Hold on, guys, hold on. I've got this. Instead of terrorist propaganda, let's call it musicals.
They do musicals.
Instead of violent jihadists, let's call them musically talented people.
They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Guys, let's just use our brains. Fiddler on the Roof, Wicked, Alexander
Fiddler on the
Hamilton,
Roof.
man. There's no reason.
Fiddler on the Roof. Ethan.
Fiddler on the Roof, Wicked, Alexander Hamilton, man. There's no reason we can't put these Houthis on Broadway.
Well, they go, listen,
Other than the fact that, you know, they would probably bomb it.
you want to fucking bring a ship through here? We're going to take it. So that's exactly what the Houthis start doing. They start fucking
So they're
sending in
pirates.
helicopters onto fucking ships. Bro, they fucking, look at this. They have that.
Hey, guess what?
Got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter with the Yemen flag. They fucking overtake. They start overtaking the ships.
Yeah, you see this? This is what we like to call a military operation. This is a search and seize military operation. If this was the United States, this would most likely either be a Force Recon, Delta Squad, or Navy SEAL team that would probably drop in from a helo a couple of clicks out and then, you know, recoup with a freaking buoy or not a buoy, a speedboat, or in the dead of night they drop in on top of the boat the same way that we're about to see, and then they would kill or capture whatever occupants are on this, and that's it. Like, this is a military occupation. This is not a show of force. A show of force would be showing up within these waters with a destroyer or a radar craft or ship or something like that. Like, that would be a show of force. That would be flexing. This is military occupation. That's all this is. There is no other way to say it. You're literally flying your flag. You are armed to the teeth. You are dropping down on what can be considered soil of that country. It's an act of fucking war. If Russia did this to America, to an American vessel, we would be at war with Russia. If China did this to an American vessel, we would be at war with China. If anybody did this to an American vessel, we would be at war with them. This is the beginning of war. That's what that is right there.
And they're like, guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're going to take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're going to enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza.
So let's review his claims. His first claim is that the boat is headed for Israel. It's not. It's going from Turkey to India. Next claim is that it's owned by an Israeli company. It's not.
And like I said with Hasan, the number one guy at making up bullshit, okay? He can see a video that explains everything that's going on in the video, and Hasan will be there like, yeah, that's not interesting enough of a story. I'm going to come up with my own.
It's being chartered by a Japanese company, and the boat's owners are registered in the Isle of Man.
Oh, this is the video, though. This is the thing where he was talking about with the Houthi pirate who came on here, and he was like, oh yeah, they were really cool. They were just hanging out with these Chinese prisoners that were forced to dance, and nobody's actually heard from them since.
To remind everybody that the crew that's kidnapped in this video has been missing for over a year now, with zero updates on their health, whereabouts, or anything.
Hello everyone, just a quick update on the Galaxy Leader crew. They were released on January 22nd of this year. Along with their release, the US Department of State offered this press statement. Today we welcome the long overdue release of 25 crew members of the MV Galaxy Leader hailing from Bulgaria, Mexico, the Philippines, Romania, and the Ukraine. The United States is deeply grateful to the Sultanate of Oman for its essential and timely efforts to secure the release of the crew. The Houthis had unlawfully detained the crew since violently seizing their vessel over a year ago. The Houthis have still not released the MV Galaxy Leader itself, which is stolen property. Houthi attacks have endangered the lives of seafarers, hindered the delivery of essential humanitarian assistance, and harm economies across the region. We must not be distracted by this insufficient action by the Houthis. Within Yemen, the Houthis continue to round up and detain hundreds of local staff members of the UN, NGOs, and diplomatic missions under abysmal conditions, including dozens of current and former Yemeni staff of the United States government, unlawfully held based on false accusations. The Houthis have also stated they will continue their unlawful attacks in the Red Sea against certain vessels associated with Israel. The Houthis must permanently cease all attacks in the Red Sea and surrounding waterways without exception and immediately release all of the hundreds of detainees.
That lines up with leftist values. Hasan's third claim is that this attack happened in their territorial waters, which is also a lie. It happened in international waters. Hasan is lying for the Houthis like he's being paid. And honestly, at this point,
He might be. You never know.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
I'm not calling
I'm a
it. I'm just
propagandist.
saying- This is like a hostile. They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
I find it disturbing that Hasan thinks that a slowdown of imports is going to cause Jews to flee Israel. 80% of Israelis were born there and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hasan? Back to Poland or back to the Arab countries they were
Pretty sure he wants them to return to their natural state. You know, as they say, ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
forced out of?
Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
By telling the Jews of Israel to go back where they came from, Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is despite the fact that 60% of Jews in Israel are actually native to the Middle East.
This is wild.
So these guys did all of this, right? They did all of this.
Is that their helicopter?
Yeah.
That looks like a legit helicopter.
It is a legit helicopter.
This is wild.
So they take it over, they take it over, they take it over, and they tell the people in the ship, usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews, and they're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us, we're taking over the ship.
What an incredible...
Why not just instead of shorthanding this BS, just put the subtitles on or get somebody who actually speaks the language, bro. Come on. And here's the thing, like his friend very obviously has no idea what he's watching right now, and he's relying on Hasan to tell him everything. He's relying on Hasan to give him this information the same way that like his freaking the same way that the chat is relying on him to give him any sort of information or anything like that. Like, you're pushing propaganda. That's all it is. If this was, you could literally go and watch videos just like this on other military, ex-military people's channels where they break down military occupation and operations like this, where people come in on a helo, take over a enemy occupied vessel, murk everybody on fucking board, and then toss them into the river and let the ship become a ghost ship because there was something on there that didn't need to be on there. It happens. And this is exactly what happened to this vessel. Every person, every Chinese person that was on this ship, as far as I know, and as far as I've seen, has gone missing and no longer, it never returned home after this video, after this encounter here.
Way to characterize having a gun in your face. Hasan is asking us not to believe our own eyes as we watch terrorists hostilely kidnap the crew.
We got no problems with you, but you're coming with us, we're taking over the ship.
And once again, the crew is still MIA for over a year, prisoners to a terrorist organization. But don't worry, guys. Hasan says they have no problem with them.
They're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us.
No problems, but we're just gonna steal you. We're gonna take you. We landed a helicopter onto your vessel here. We got no problems with you. I just have this gun here, but no problems with you. We are going to take you as a prisoner of war. No problems with you, though. We might torture you a little bit. No problems, and we're probably gonna kill you, but we don't have a problem with you. Like, anybody who knows anything about the military, the number one thing you do to cripple people, to cripple military occupation, the military industrial complex, is to cripple supply routes. Number one way to win a war: cripple supply routes, get rid of emergency services. Den of Tims, I have a couple of news stories I'm going to send you about the ship. Hey, yeah, sure, go for it, brother. They're still alive and have been recently released thanks to Donald Trump. Oh shit, that's news. All right, they ended up getting released finally. Well, that's good. Jesus Christ. But that's just one of things that it can... the unfortunate thing about that is that Hasan would most likely look at that and turn around and go, "Lord, I don't know what you want from me. They got released. Like, they were they're alive. They might have been, hurt. They might have been captured or whatever, but they're alive at least. Like, fuck. Like, what do you want the Houthis to not capture people? Like, come on, it's not perfect. The resistance isn't perfect, you guys."
This is a 3-minute video of... What do you do in music video? When you use a music video, I'm expecting, like... are you being serious? I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
I bet Hasan's friend really appreciated being fed terrorist propaganda on camera. Let's see what he had to say.
Because hell, even a couple days ago, I was hanging out with my buddy Hasan, and this guy unironically put a terrorist propaganda music video on and then left the room.
Left the room?
Yeah.
Gets called out. Hell
yeah.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it's hilarious, But at the same time, I'm like, what is going on here? This is wild to me.
Yeah.
But like, I just, and like, he was like, yo, they're such great dancers. Like,
oh my god.
I was like, okay.
They're really good
Wait,
people.
is that how it works? If you watch like a politics TikTok, you get recommended Hasan right after? Is that how it works? Bro, he's all over this page.
To top 3: cripple supplies, wound, do not kill, and sabotage machinery, i.e. tanks. Yep, exactly, Neon. Supply routes, take out any, you want to take out supply routes, take out their ability to be within war, which is like machinery, aviation, radar, etc., etc. And then the number one thing that you want to get rid of is the white mage. You always get rid of the white mage. That's the Red Cross. That's any sort of hospitals or anything. And the reason for it is because throughout history, there has been a multitude of times in which, even within our own history with the Civil War and all that, where both opposing sides have made agreements to not target medical personnel, because at times hospitals have been utilized by opposing forces, because nurses, doctors, they are supposed to be off limit during times of war, because there's supposed to be a level of understanding between two occupations that, if you see a cross, you're not supposed to go after them. But it's not like that. We don't have that when it comes to terrorists. They don't care about those things. They want mass casualties. The more innocent lives that are lost, the better it is for them.
That's crazy. Click it. Dude, Hasan be saying some wild stuff, man. So I don't know if we can.
Here's another incident of Hasan enjoying some Houthi propaganda.
Look at this. He's not even talking.
How can they not agree with the Houthis when this is the kind of music video that they're coming out with? They got
Music
a beautiful
video.
voice too. Yeah, Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude. The fucking mixtape.
Oh, Hasan, my sweet, naive.
But yeah, if it was like a propaganda for America, he'd be like, look at these Zionists, look at these Nazis, look at this occupational force, look at these bloodthirsty freaking, what did he call the person? He called them a bloodthirsty oh, I forget the name, but he said some like racial term. He called him like a grease dog or something like that. I don't know.
Friend, you say that Jews don't sing and dance like that? Then what the fuck do you call this?
Oh God. Euro shot. Yeah, here we go.
That's right, bitch. What the fuck you stepping on our shit?
Yeah, Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude. The fucking mixtape. Got a beautiful voice too. Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude. Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
I agree, Grungehead. Skinny Ethan is weird. I'm used to seeing him be like that pudgy, hateful, spiteful dude. He looks almost like he lost weight for bad reasons, right? Like he got sick and then lost weight. That's like how it looks.
He's been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Now we come to our sweet, beautiful, cute little TikTok twink. This hairless young man
twink.
is the fantasy of every tween and twix and all the boys and girls on TikTok. He's cute. He's got a mustache. He's a freedom fighter. Beautiful eyes. They call him Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Because he's a Houthi.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean?
A rebel.
Excuse.
Imagine calling him a rebel. That's crazy. Never forget. And I guess it makes sense considering the FBI, considering back in the day, the FBI had considered Martin Luther King a potential homegrown terrorist. I can understand why this person would be looked at as a freedom fighter. Remember, like we always say here, the pendulum will go far to the left one way and far to the right the other way. All right, like it keeps swinging.
Excuse me. Of course, I'm about to have a. I'm a journalist. Okay, this is journalism. It's so weird. It's so weird. Motherfuckers want journalism, and when I'm trying to do journalism, they go, "Why are you doing that?"
This isn't journalism.
Bro, you are going to get banned. I think it would be ridiculous to do that.
Hasan now has the opportunity to express his journalistic chops, to get his boots on the ground and show us just how good of a reporter he can be.
I'm doing journalism, chat. Does he know what One Piece is?
He's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. Yes. We love you too, man. Big time. Yeah.
I love you. I love you so much.
We're big fans of the Yemeni music videos. You could tell him that. I want to ask him about the knife. The knives are sick. What's up with the knives? You know, the curved knives.
If one of those knives comes out in front of you, it's not going back until it has blood on it.
Oh, okay. My bad. Well, I mean, I think it's cool though. That's so crazy. So they're just chilling with the captains? Like, I don't understand.
I don't understand. On these ships, and they like win them over with their.
They're just chilling with the guys, right? Like they're just hanging out. You know, that's typically how I hang out with my friends too. I descend from a helicopter with a fully automatic rifle and tell them that we're hanging out now. That's how me and my friends hang out, especially when they're complete strangers just trying to make a living.
and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny. I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism. It's so weird. It's so weird. Motherfuckers want journalism, and when I'm trying to do journalism, they go, "Why are you doing that?" What do you mean? I'm just chilling. We're just vibing. Yeah, we're just vibing. We're vibing big time.
Hasan uncritically interviewed this kid for about an hour. It was the most brazen display of disgusting terrorist propaganda that I have maybe ever seen in Western media.
What has happened to, does he know what has happened to any of the crews? Like, I heard they...
Hasan almost asked a good question, but it's actually leading to the most obscene part of this interview.
He's saying he hasn't spent much time with Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing. So he likes him, yeah.
So, I mean, what... That's so crazy. So they're just chilling with the captains? Like, I don't understand.
Ask yourself, why is he able to hang out with the captain and the crew of this pirated ship? Why would he even have access to that? Hasan knows why. Of course, he is a Houthi terrorist. Instead of challenging him and demanding more details about these kidnapped and missing people, he just runs defense for this guy, acting like he doesn't know why that would even happen.
He's saying that they win over the crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny.
It is super funny, the idea of kidnapped crew members who are being forced, probably at gunpoint, to do some death to Americas and maybe some curse upon the Jews. And frankly, the callous disregard for the well-being of the literal hostages is shocking, even for somebody that loves terrorists.
That's so funny. Is there a KFC there? They're everywhere. I don't think there's a KFC in Yemen, dog.
He says they have two.
Oh, they do have KFC in Yemen? That's crazy. Okay, that's sick.
Is there a KFC?
It's great to be asking, the freaking, he got it right. It was a nothing burger of an interview. The guy played it off. He didn't turn around. Anytime he heard something that was even remotely that he could push on and ask questions about, like, oh, how did he get to hang out with the captain? How exactly was he able to turn around and get into these positions? But dude, you don't just get to hang out with a captain of a ship, especially on a cargo ship like that. You got there because you have fucking automatic rifles, bro.
Yemen? No way, dude! Holy fuck! There's a KFC in Yemen!
And not only that, but yeah, these are the hard-hitting questions he's asking about. Oh, do you have KFC? Oh, have you watched? Do you know what anime is? Oh, have you seen One Piece? Like, come on, bro.
He's just like us.
Does he know what One Piece is?
What if he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh my God. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
You guys all remember Luffy's flag, right? Now, I'm only halfway through that show, so maybe I just haven't come to it yet. But I do not remember Luffy's flag looking like this. Predictably, there was some blowback after this interview, and Hasan went immediately into damage control to rewrite history.
He said that he was just simply a Yemeni person and not a Houthi. Yeah, I mean, we don't even know if he's a Houthi or not. He's a teenager in Yemen. The dude is neither a Houthi, nor a terrorist, nor a pirate, is not a Houthi rebel. They didn't fucking call him a Houthi either. You want to know why? Because he's not one. He's not a Houthi himself. He's not a pirate, but I don't think he's not a pirate. He has reiterated the position that he is not a Houthi. Trust me, bro, I'm not Houthi. Be for real. You sucked him off the entire stream. Not even a Houthi militant or anything like that. When I interviewed the dude who they still to this day call a Houthi terrorist, Tim Houthi's not even a fucking Houthi. I thought he was a Houthi because he's not.
He is a Houthi.
No, he was just some fucking Yemeni TikToker. Random fucking Yemeni teenager. Didn't you, Brand?
Yeah, such a random Yemeni teenager that's been plastered all over the Houthi agenda, who's been marketed as the go-to. Like, even Hasan pointed out in the interview that the guy seemed like he had media training. In other words, that the guy was taught how to speak properly and say certain things, certain buzzwords during interviews.
And it is him being a Houthi interview, though? Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean?
All right, let's just take Hasan's word for it and assume, okay, this kid is not a Houthi rebel. He's just some ordinary Yemen teenager. Let's go ahead and take a look at his social media and see if that lines up. All right, let's see here. Tel Aviv will burn in the coming hours. Ready for sacrifice and eager for martyrdom. Maybe he's talking about football? Here he is singing a song with the words, "Do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew?" The meaning of Houthi is a title, and it's not something to fear, but for the Jews. They are very afraid of this title. The execution we will carry out on all Zionists, with the lovely depiction of a man impaled through his asshole and out of his mouth with a pike, or how Hasan likes to say it, a pike for a cut. Okay, why would he retweet this article called "Houthis Use Social Media to Boost Global Prominence and Support"? Israel falls. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv. The Jaffa drone, which no Israeli defense can stop. The ships we bombed and sank. I know the red arrow is supposed to be a cool military Hamas thing. This is a butt plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy.
Yep.
Okay, but hating Jews...
Like I said, guys, anytime you see the word Zionist or someone says the word Zionist, just replace it with Jew and you know exactly what they're meaning.
Does it make you a Houthi? Are you a soldier? Yes. Well, that seems pretty definitive. You know what makes you a Houthi? Being a Houthi. At least one of the two of them is being honest about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah.
It would be crazy. It would be crazy if he ended up becoming on the FBI's most wanted list, because what Hasan would then turn around and do is he would turn around and say, well, guys, I interviewed him before he was on the FBI's most wanted list. See, when I interviewed him, he was just a freedom fighter, and now they're coming after him and calling him a terrorist. That's what Hasan's defense would be.
Yes, that's fire. And that's so fire. Oh my God. We think the Houthis is doing what Luffy would do. They're tweeting an image of a Jewish person on a pike. I don't understand why this problem can't be approached with nuance, because he is a teenager in Yemen, dude.
Talk about the bigotry of low expectations. He's a kid in Yemen, dude. What do you expect? Of course he's going to want to put a pike through a Jew's asshole and through his mouth. That's just what kids in Yemen are like, man.
And also, what do you mean? It's just a person on a pike. There's no Jewish person
just
on a
a
pike.
person on a pike
photo, unless
just a person on a pike, you guys. Not using any words, not using any dog whistles like Zionist, guys. Listen. It's like when a white person turns around and says, "those people." Come on. We all know what they're talking about. Just
unless I saw something different.
Hasan claims this isn't even a Jewish person on the pike. How exactly is a naked, piked person supposed to look like a Jew for you, Hasan? You know what? You're right. Let me make it a little clearer for you. First, he needs a bigger nose, right, Hasan? Of course, he needs a yarmulke, the curly things. Oh, look, Hasan, he dropped his dreidel. He must be Jewish for sure. Or, you know, you could just read what he wrote, you dumbass, liar, terrorist-loving, propagandist piece of shit.
This is why this entire conversation is fucking idiotic. It's not a Jewish person. He said, I think why am I held accountable for some random fucking 19-year-old in Yemen's tweets? What is happening? How many steps removed are we from this situation?
0? I mean, you platformed him. Do you not remember? Did the check not clear or something? When faced with fair criticism for his coverage of the Houthi Luffy, he has a total meltdown.
I fucking despise all of you, dude. I do. I really do. I hate all of you. You successfully got me to talk about this, and my patience is running thin on this matter.
What he means by that is, guys, I'm running low on excuses as to why I'm continuing to dodge these questions, okay? I need more reasons. I need more defenses. I need more ways to go ahead and diffuse this and not actually somebody give me, come on. Let's brainstorm a couple of ideas here. That is true, Neon. You eat what you platform, brother. When you create an entire group of people, like your fan base is this type of people, and if you don't continue to feed them the same thing that brought them, they're going to end up looking for something else. They're going to end up eating you, bro. That's how it always goes. You get freaking self-emulated over here.
Endless selfishness. The untapped well of American selfishness and American individualism is in full display. How is this the conversation that you want to have right now?
One of the most cynical methods Hasan deploys to sidestep any criticism is to deflect to the ongoing genocide in Gaza. I've seen him do this so many times. He frames it like you are selfish for trying to criticize him, no matter what the reason is, because there's a genocide happening, man. How can you criticize?
Bro, the last year, this Palestinian thing has been crazy because people be like, what do you mean? How can you say this about eggs? How can you talk about egg prices when there are literally pebbles being crushed by tanks in Palestine? Right now, there is a heat wave in Palestine. How can you be crying about dead people in America? Okay. Like, seriously, dude. The entire last year or so has been people utilizing the whole Palestinian conflict and being like, whoa. You want to argue about politics in America? Do you not know that there's a genocide going on around the world? I don't give a fuck, okay? I don't care that there's a genocide going around the world. It sucks. It's bad. It's terrible. Sure, that's not cool, not good. But that's over there. Okay, that's their problem. We can help them out. No problem with that. Let's go ahead and take care of our shit first. Okay, kind of feeling like Patrick here. Why don't we take their bullshit and move it over there outside of American politics? Because it doesn't have anything to do with America.
Me at a time like this.
Globally effective locally first. Yeah, exactly. You should want to be globally effective, but in order to be globally effective, you have to be locally efficient. If you are not locally efficient, you cannot be globally effective. It's the same with any product. If your distribution center within your own county can't handle getting orders out within your state or county or whatever, how is it going to handle getting orders out all over the world? Same thing with America. If our shit is in shambles, how do we expect to be able to be effective globally if we are not effective locally?
Claiming that I am, too pro-Houthi. When someone is like focusing on that while there's an active fucking ethnic cleansing campaign happening. He also apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life. In the middle of fucking talking about fucking genocide in Gaza, and this dumb fuck. Blow your nose, brother. Love you. Not trying to be mean. Just keep some tissue nearby and clear it out occasionally when needed. Much love. Fuck you, dude. My argument sucks? You think it justifies genocide? What are you, stupid? Everything that can be tangentially turned into like Jewish people are under attack is a decent way to just like drive discourse away from open genocide in Gaza. If your sole focus when Israel is doing a complete genocide in Gaza, if your sole focus revolves around that people are saying you're a Zionist, yeah, go fucking yell at streamers for not covering sufficiently the ongoing active genocide in Gaza instead of coming in here and fucking chirping at me.
It's quite a charge to just say I'm a stenographer for the Israeli government or I'm a propagandist. I don't think there's any evidence that I'm either of those things. I'm curious who you think I am doing the propaganda for.
While we're having this conversation, 3,000 peers, while we're having this back and forth, 3,840 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered in the last incursion into Gaza. I feel like this is an incredibly selfish, self-centered conversation to have.
This technique is so powerful because
guys, we shouldn't be talking because there's something worse going on over here. It's literally the same thing of when people, or when you're old, your parents used to say, oh, you shouldn't throw that away. There's children starving in Africa. And it's like, well, I'm not a big fan of cauliflower. So if they wanted the cauliflower, you could send it to them. Because it's like, it doesn't make any difference whether you eat it or not. They're still going to be starving. I totally understand the implication of like, oh, you should be grateful for what you have and you shouldn't just let something go to waste. But at the same time, you live in an area. If you have the ability to choose what food you want to eat, you have also the ability to be wasteful. I'm not saying you should be, sure, but it's different for places in other countries that don't have the ability to choose. They don't have the ability to be ungrateful for what they have, you know?
everyone's afraid.
And this argument of why are we talking? Why are we having an argument? Why are you coming after me? Why are you pointing out all the things that I'm doing wrong when there's a genocide going on over there? It's like Hasan's a natural freaking defense mechanism. Like if Hasan was a squid he wouldn't ink. He wouldn't. His thing would be genocide. Genocide is happening. Don't talk about me. Genocide's going on. Just he pulled like it's pocket sand. He pulls it out of his freaking pocket. He's like genocide. He's like Hasan, you said this bad thing about white people. Genocide. Hasan, you said there was no rapes on October 7th. Genocide. Like, it's this freaking attack. Hasan used genocide and it was super effective, bro.
Of being labeled as a genocide denier. Piers Morgan, with decades of experience, immediately surrenders when the genocide card is pulled.
When you're just a fucking stenographer, you're not a truth teller.
He has every right to defend himself. And grow a pair, Piers. Stand up for yourself, man. It's time to stop being intimidated by these online overnight activists who couldn't even point to Gaza on a map before October 7th. Like Hasan,
that
for
is
example.
True.
Doesn't know where Yemen is. Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think nope.
And this is actually funny and telling too. A lot of people who are trying to defend like or talk about these conflicts in other countries don't even know where they are on the map. Some people think that we're like in some people don't even know like the Americas or where the Americas are or any of that. Like some people don't even know where our own like what is part of America. Like some people don't know that it's not Puerto Rico, or some islands of Puerto Rico are within what are they called? They're considered colonies or something like that, right? If I'm not mistaken. So it's just crazy. This person's over here talking about how defending the soil of another country and you can't even point to it, you know?
Nope. Got it.
How can you claim to actually care about this genocide when you're willing to so cynically exploit it to sidestep any criticism? What a bigot. Before we move on, Hasan has one final taste of idiocy for us all to enjoy.
Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him, which means that for most of his life, he has withstood genocide, right? Like he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay. Being able to talk to Anne Frank in real time.
To quote Anne Frank, I keep my ideals because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. Anne Frank continues to inspire generations of people because in the face of a genocide that eventually took her and her entire family's life, except for her dad, she refused to give in to hate, malice, and violence. And then there's this guy, who would have killed Anne Frank if he ever met her.
Yep.
You might think this is a sweet, innocent girl. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys we are working on a new edition just for you, Hasan. You should hear about the time she went roaming the streets of Berlin at night with a knife, slitting the throats of families, including children, babies, and the elderly. She's killed children, you guys. She even rapes people. She's just like Luffy. There is no other way to describe this than terrorist propaganda. Not only is he platforming terrorist propaganda, right, uncritically, he's participating in it. He's enhancing it. He is not just a conduit. He is an active participant who's disseminating it to more and more people in a way more consumable form. This is extremely fucked up. But why should he care? Their flag doesn't say death to fucking Turks. It says curse upon the Jews. Hasan likes to obfuscate on this and says nobody cares when Sean Penn interviewed El Chapo.
Sean Penn.
Yes, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and part of Guatemala. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what I thought. Like we have other islands or colonies out there. Yeah.
Literally interviewed El Chapo. Exactly, dude.
Nobody is saying you can't have difficult conversations with controversial people. You just have to ask them hard questions, guys. We know this. Now let's move on to everybody's favorite terrorist organization, our friends in the north. It's Hezbollah. Where do I even begin? Thousands of civilians have been killed globally from their terrorist acts, car bombs, and suicide attacks. They even assassinated the Lebanese prime minister. They've hijacked civilian airplanes. They've shot 15,000 rockets into civilian centers. And if you can imagine, that's not even the worst things they've done. They participated in the slaughter of over 500,000 Syrian civilians to help a dictator, Bashar Assad, stay in power. They indiscriminately bombed over civilian centers, and they killed hundreds of thousands of civilians in what can only be described as a genocide. They are a designated terrorist group by the US, by the EU, And, oh yeah, the entire Arab League, which gave them that status after their participation in the Syrian genocide. In short, nobody likes
Nenchu. Sorry, I'm an H3 girl. Thank you for covering this. Yeah, absolutely. I love H3. Like, I love Ethan Klein. Like, I mean, it's hard to like watch everything. Dude streams for like multiple hours, has so much going on. But I think Ethan Klein is really on the resurgence again. He got really deep into the left side with Hasan and Leftovers, and was really kind of had to step away from him because he was like way too left for my taste. But now that he's come back, he's a little bit more central. He's going back to his older ways of being, you know, Ethan that we all know and love. I'm glad to be. He's getting W after W after W.
Well, there is one person.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
They are a terrorist organization. Like, they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Yep.
Well, like,
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.